Hello everyone, in this video we'll discuss about introduction of the metacarpal bones. So metacarpal bones are example of miniature long bones. They are having a base, a head and intervening shaft. Now when you see this articulated hand in anatomical position, and the metacarpal bones are counted from lateral to medial. So this is first, second, third, fourth and fifth metacarpal. Now as I told you, these are the example of miniature long bones. So only one epiphysis will appear at the end. So for the first metacarpal, the epiphysis will appear at the base, whereas for the rest of the metacarpal, the epiphysis will appear at the heads. Now if epiphysis also appears at opposite ends, like at the bases of the other metacarpals and at the head of the first metacarpal, then that epiphysis is then termed as an example of aberrant epiphysis. Now if you see individual metacarpal bones, see this. Now here the base is slightly narrower as compared to the head, you can clearly make out, and so as the shaft will taper from head to the base. Okay, now the head is having a rounded articular facet, and that will articulate with corresponding articular facet of the base of proximal phalanx, and that will form metacarpophalangeal joint, which is ellipsoid variety of synovial joint. And when you flex this joint, the bulging head will protrude out, and that is then termed as knuckles. Similarly, the bases will articulate with corresponding articular facets of the distal row of carpal bones. So here this is the trapezium, and that will connect with base of the first metacarpal, and that forms first carpometacarpal joint. Now it is a separate joint, and that is saddle variety of synovial joint. The rest of the joints for second, third, fourth and fifth carpometacarpal joints, they are the example of plain synovial joint. So this is how these bases will connect with the carpal bones. Now when you see the shaft, you can clearly see that along the dorsal surface there is a flattened triangular area. Now that is a characteristic feature of the metacarpals. The apex is facing towards the base. So this is not visible in case of metatarsal. Let me show you. So this is a metatarsal, and you can not see such triangular flattening along the dorsal surface. So that is a differentiating point between these two. Again, for detailed description and detailed comparison of metacarpal versus metatarsal, you can see my separate video. Similarly, along the palmar surface, if you see it from side, there is a concavity and there is a vertical ridge along the palmar surface that will divide the palmar surface of the shaft into anteromedial and anterolateral areas. Now this triangular flattening along the dorsal surface is evident only along the second to fifth metacarpals, but that is absent along the dorsal surface of first metacarpal. See over here. Now as we have discussed, the bases of metacarpal bones will articulate with distal articular facets of distal row of carpal bones. So over here you can see this is first carpometacarpal joint. Now it is a completely separated joint. So there is a maximum range of mobility of this first metacarpal bone, whereas you can clearly see this base of second metacarpal is wedged between this capitate bone and the trapezium. Okay, just because the trapezoid is smaller as compared to these two bones, and it will not reach, its distal articular facet will not reach up to the margins, outer margins of the trapezium and capitate. So the longest second metacarpal will accommodate over here, and that will get mortised between these two bones, and that will be almost fixed. Similar thing will happen with the base of third metacarpal. So second and third metacarpals will be almost fixed during various moments, whereas the bases of fourth and fifth metacarpals will connect with distal articular facet of the hamate. This is hamate, and that will permit little bit more movement as compared to the movements permitted at second and third metacarpal bases. So highest mobility is given to the first metacarpal, and it is followed by this fourth and fifth metacarpal. The second and third metacarpals are least mobile. So this is regarding introduction. Now detailed description of individual metacarpal is given in separate videos. Hope you understood well. Thanks for watching.